Okay, today let's revise the notes and exercises of chapter 23, Market Around Us, from your social science civics. Well, before we go into the details of these notes, first of all, let us see together keywords. Okay, the keywords. The first one is service, a system of supplying a public need. One of the example is transport. Illegal, forbidden by law, especially by criminal law. Alright. Transaction, an instance of buying or selling something. And users, person who actually uses a particular product. Okay. Or just simply a customer. Broker, a person who represents another in buying and selling. Cold storage, the keeping of something in cold place for preservation. Okay, that's what we call as cold storage. Well, now let's go to the next one. uh, what is a market? A market is an arrangement that allows buyers and sellers to exchange goods and services. Question number 2, who are buyers and sellers in a market? Buyers are consumers who buy goods and services, and firms that buy labor, capital, and raw materials in a market. So buyer consists of consumers as well as firms that buy labor, capital, and raw materials in a market. Is it not so? The next one is, what is a traditional market? A traditional market is an area where the traders set up stalls and buyers browse the goods on sale. Okay, one of the best example is Ima Market, Pauna Bazaar, etc., etc. Okay, next question, how are market regulated? Okay, first point is, most markets are regulated by laws and regulations. Sellers should issue cash memo. Okay, you know what a cash memo is, to buyers at the time of transaction. Value added tax, it is also known as GST, goods and service sales tax, has to be paid by the buyer. Who is supposed to pay the GST? By the buyers. Next, what do you mean by demand and supply in a market? The demand for a good or a service is the amount that the consumers are willing to buy at a particular price. The supply of a good is what the firm is willing to sell at a price. Okay, is demand and supply. Demand means demand for a good or a service is the amount that the consumers are willing to buy at a particular price, and supply, a good of a good is what the firm is willing to sell at the price. All right, so that's demand and supply in the market. Let's go to the next one. Write some factors which determines the price of goods. Some of the factors are, when demand exceeds supply, it leads to price rise. When does the price rise? When demand exceeds supply. Okay. Growing scarcity of a good is associated with price rise. Understand? Scarcity of goods because of price is associated with price rise. Next one is, when supply exceeds demand, prices fall. All right, let's go to the next one. When buyers want to maximize satisfaction that they get out of the consumption of the good, and sellers generally try to maximize the profit. Okay, speculators buy goods like to be in short supply in the future and sell them at a higher price. Okay, what could have been happen if there were no markets? It would have been inconvenient to search for someone willing to buy what others are selling, right? Okay. Secondly, one has to pay the transportation cost in the absence of markets. We cannot sell and buy what we like if there were no markets. No. So this would happen if there were no markets. Next, let's go to the next one. Who is a retailer? A retailer buys goods in large quantities from manufacturer either directly or through a wholesale and then sells smaller quantities to the end users. Okay, you know who are end users. Most of the shops that we come across are retail shops. Okay, shops that we have in and around Imphal are mostly retail shops. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Who is a wholesaler? A wholesaler is a merchant who engage in buying and selling of large quantities of products. A wholesaler can be also a broker or a commission agent. He performs many functions such as storage of goods and transporting them from farm to market area economically. Okay, let's go to the next one. Distinguish between wholesale market and a retail market. In the retail market, one can purchase even small amount, right? Whereas in the wholesale market, buying and selling occurs in bulk only. So we do not get small amount. We can buy a pair of shoes from retail market. We buy 1000 pair of shoes from wholesale market. So that is the difference between retail market and wholesale market. Next, how is a wholesale market classified? Wholesale market may be classified into secondary and terminal wholesale market. Okay, while the secondary wholesale market is located in districts and procure most of its products from rural markets which are located in the production area. Okay, whereas terminal wholesale markets are located in the major metropolitan area where products are finally channeled to consumers through trade between wholesaler and retailer. Next one, what is the pricing technique of a retailer? The pricing technique adopted by most retailer is cost plus pricing. Okay, the cost is the wholesale price of a retailer. Understand? A retail price is the retailer's cost plus a markup amount. A retail price is the retailer's cost plus a markup amount. Don't forget that. Next one. The retailer's cost is the wholesale price. Thus, when wholesale prices rise, the price in the retail market also bound to rise. Okay, what happened when the wholesale price rise? Retail in the retail market, the retail price also it's going to rise. Right. What is a supermarket? A supermarket is a self-service store offering a wide variety of goods and household items organized into departments. We get many items under one roof. Do not. Best examples are Vishal Mart, Big Bazaar, etc. etc. What is the difference between black market and grey market? A black market is the market for illegal items like heroin, small arms, etc. Whereas grey market is the market where legal items are distributed through illegal networks. For example, selling of petrol by vendors near petrol pumps. How do the government of India try to regulate agricultural products? Most states in India regulate the wholesale market for agricultural goods by requiring that farmers sell their products or produce only in the government authorized markets. Such regulations ensure uniform market prices for agricultural goods and prevent farmers from being exploited by unscrupulous wholesale agents. Okay. However, as far as Manipur is concerned, Manipur is yet to enact the Agricultural Produce Marketing Act. Okay. Marketing of agricultural products in Manipur has not been well organized. Explain. There are innumerable middlemen working between the producers and the ultimate consumers. Okay, middleman, okay, dealer, we can say the broker. The farmers in Manipur operate over small and scattered holdings. They do not have large quantity of surplus agricultural produce individually. Do not. The farm produce is collected in the remote villages and brought to the central point by women. Due to lack of cold storage facility and adequate transport network, bulk of agricultural produce is wasted most of the time. Let's go to the next one. What is inflation? Inflation can be defined as a persistent rise in the general price of goods and service of common or daily use, such as clothing, food, fuel, transport, etc., which results in an increase in the cost of living. Okay, that's what we call as inflation. How does inflation affect a consumer? The major outcome of inflation is the fall in the purchasing power of money. Okay. In an inflationary situation, the quantity of anything that can be bought by a certain sum of money keep on declining. So that's how inflation affect a consumer. Okay. So for today, we'll do up to question number 18. I wish you must revise again and again and pick up all the points from this chapter. Okay. Thank you so much. Have a good day.